Do you remember back in the good old days of writing a paper using a typewriter? Well, I don't, because I was born in 2002. But what I do know about typewriters are the fonts that they used. If you're my age or younger, you're probably thinking, what the heck is a typewriter font? If you're older than me, you're probably thinking, yeah, why do they look like that? Why do they look so mechanical? Why does the lowercase I look like that? So in this video, I'll be going over what that is, why it's practical, and why the lowercase I looks like that. So without further ado, let's get into font history. Before we get into this video, I just wanted to say that I am currently a senior in college studying graphic design. This is my bread and butter. This is my steak and potatoes. I'm extremely qualified to talk about this information. I took my hoodie off. So today, I'm going to be talking about a specific style of typography that doesn't really get a whole lot of spotlight. When you think about typography, you probably think of something that's very loud or bubbly. Maybe you think of calligraphy or handwritten type. Maybe you think about Swiss design with fonts like Helvetica. Maybe you think about Comic Sans. Maybe, but what I'm sure of is that people rarely think about this style of font that was crucial to the rise of computer technology. From typewriters to code, I'm of course talking about Monospace. Now, what is a monospace? So a monospace Sorry, I thought he was gonna show up. Oh my god! Why are you in my bathroom?
I'm just like chilling here.
Get out from there, you're fully clothed!
But I found $20.
I don't care! Anyway. Sorry, I can't keep using the dollar, it keeps flopping over. So what is a monospace font? In its simplest description, every letter in a monospace font is spaced out equally. Every letter is the same width, hence the name monospace. Imagine a row of squares. Every letter has to fit the exact width of the square. This is a monospace. Say you're typing on a typewriter. You press a letter and the carriage, the little bar, moves over one space. This is so it doesn't interfere with the previous letter you just typed. There's a problem with this though, in that when you press a key and the carriage moves over, it moves over the same space, the same amount of space, every time you press a letter, regardless of what the letter is. And so the early users of the typewriter recognized that this was a problem. When you're using a standard English font, they discovered that letters typically vary in width, and it's pretty drastic actually. For example, the letter I is really thin, it's just a vertical line, and the letter M is really wide because you have all those humps. There's two humps, I'm saying all those humps, there's two. So when you use a word that has a lot of these letters, say immobile, and space the letters out evenly, it looks like shit from a butt. So here's an example of the same word using a monospace font that you might already know about, Courier New. So while this does fix a lot of issues, and it sure as hell looks a lot better, there's still some very prevalent issues that you can't really do a whole lot about because of the limitations of the English alphabet. So once typewriters started using monospace fonts, these monospace fonts became the most used fonts in the world at the time, because typewriters, despite the difficulty of obtaining, were still the most accessible way to type. And so typewriters aren't the only way monospace fonts are used. The new most popular way to use monospace fonts is in mathematics and computing. See, because monospace letter forms fit so well in squares as we talked about before, it makes it really easy to display them in arrays or geometric patterns. This makes mathematical equations like, say, a multiplication table really easy to read and understand. And it's the same sentiment that brought monospace fonts into early computing and coding, where they're actually still being used and being further developed to this day. So thank you for watching Font History. Tune in next time where we're talking about modern serifs like Bodoni and Didot. What?